Aloha kākou e nā haumana, nā kumua me nā ohana o pomaikai. This discussion is going to be on ka lelo Hawaiʻi, ka lelo Hawaiʻi, or the Hawaiian language. Just a quick overview, the Hawaiian language is a member of the Polynesian language family. There are about 30 to 40 different members within this language family, and the Hawaiian language is the northernmost member of this Polynesian language family. The Polynesian languages are spoken within the Polynesian Triangle, within and around the borders of this triangle. The northernmost point of this triangle is Hawaiʻi. The southernmost is Aotearoa, which is now called New Zealand. And the easternmost point of the triangle is Rapa Nui, which is now also called Easter Island. Now here in Hawaiʻi, we have a standardized form of the language, but prior to the coming of writing, each island and sometimes different districts on those islands spoke different dialects. Now, dialects of a language are basically a specific way to speak that's different than another place that speaks the same language. So take, for example, US English and British English, dialects of the same language. They sound different, but they're mutually intelligible. That means that two speakers of the language can have a conversation and understand everything. So in the old days, prior to writing, the island dialects were pretty much mutually intelligible, but with the introduction of writing, the Hawaiian language became standardized, and the missionaries wrote the Bible in this standardized form of the language, and that became the formal form of the Hawaiian language, and that Bible spread throughout the islands, and that way of speaking also spread throughout the islands. Let's speak a little bit about Maui's dialect. Now here on Maui, our kupuna are famous for the way that they pronounce certain words. Sometimes you'll hear kupuna speak, and if a word has more than one K in it, sometimes the second K is pronounced as a ch sound. So the word for morning, aloha kakahiaka. Excuse me, that's good morning, right? Kakahiaka is the word for morning, and I think you know aloha kakahiaka. Regardless, kakahiaka has more than one K in it. So the second K is sometimes pronounced by kupuna as kachahiaka, kachahiaka. And if they want to be sassy or more forceful, they might just use that ch sound at the beginning of a word. So if I'm going to tell you, cha, throw it away, kupuna on Maui would say, cha, chiloi. And sometimes on Maui, if there is an I, a K, and an I, the middle K is sometimes pronounced as a T. So it's very common to hear kupuna on Maui say hiti instead of hiki. Maui's dialect also has words that are understood around the island chain, but we use them differently here. So the word for that purple spineless urchin on other islands is ha'ukeuke, and here on Maui it's ha'ue'ue. There is a goby fish, a type of o'opu that's half orange and half black. On other islands they call it hi'ukole, and here on Maui we call it nu'ukole. And we have a type of needle, it's a long needle, that we use for sewing things like sacks and also even lei. On other islands that's called a manai, and here on Maui it's called makila. Even between West Maui and East Maui, sometimes there's dialectal differences. There's a tree, a type of wood on West Maui that's called kauila, but on East Maui, the same tree and wood is called o'a. So you can imagine in the Polynesian Triangle, there are so many dialects. And even in the one language we call the Hawaiian language, there are many dialects as well. There was a little bit about the Hawaiian language and Maui's dialect of the Hawaiian language. Oia no ka lelo Hawaiʻi.